Welcome back to Hannity's America. Well, we're up to reason number 3 not to vote for Barack Obama for president. His problems with math when it comes to taxes and spending your money.
We're talking about Joe the plumber.
The conversation I had with Joe the plumber.
Joe the plumber.
Joe the plumber.
Joe the plumber.
With over 26 mentions of his name, Joe the plumber became the star of the last presidential debate. Joe's actually a regular guy who asked Barack Obama the really hard question and ultimately brought the Illinois senator's pie-in-the-sky promises back down to reality.
What's your name?
My name's Joe Wurzelbach.
Good to see you, Joe.
I'm getting ready to buy a company
Yeah.
that makes about $250,000, $270,000, $80,000 a year.
All right.
Your new tax plan is going to tax me more, doesn't it?
I'm a plumber.
You know, I work 10, 12 hours a day. If I buy another truck and add something else to it and, build the company,
Right.
I'm getting taxed more and more.
It's not that I want to punish your success. I just want to make sure that everybody who is behind you, that they've got a chance at success too. Everybody's so pinched that business is bad for everybody. And I think when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everybody.
And Barack Obama has more big plans for the country if he becomes president.
Now is not the time for small plans. I will cut taxes for 95% of all working families. And I'll invest $150 billion over the next decade in affordable, renewable sources of energy. I'll invest in early childhood education. I'll recruit an army of new teachers and pay them higher salaries and give them more support.
He also wants to spend $65 billion a year on a new health care plan, $15 billion in green energy spending, $85 billion in tax cuts and credit, $25 billion a year in foreign aid, and $18 billion a year on education. The senator's long list of expensive ideas totals nearly $1 trillion in spending. So how is he planning to pay for all of this? Obama says one way is to raise taxes on the highest earners and give tax breaks to the lowest. In other words, people who don't currently pay taxes will actually receive money, a check from the government, right after the government takes it from people who make more. Obama calls that, quote, spreading the wealth around.
His plan gives away your tax dollars to those that don't pay taxes. That's not a tax cut. That's welfare.
Joe the plumber, well, he doesn't like that idea either. But Obama doesn't see it that way. He believes everyone should have enough money to live the way they want to, even if they can't afford it. So is that how he plans to manage the money for his other bright ideas, robbing Peter to pay Paul? Some in the international community are already concerned about Obama's proposed policies and are preparing for the fallout. Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper and the President of the European Union, Nicolas Sarkozy, recently signed an agreement to start negotiations for a free trade agreement between them. According to an editorial in the Wall Street Journal, Barack Obama's promise to unilaterally rewrite the North American Free Trade Agreement if Canada and Mexico won't go along with his ideas on labor and the environment has not gone unnoticed in Ottawa. If Canadians are going to have a tougher time selling their goods and their services south of the border, well, then who can blame them for looking east, across the Atlantic to Europe? So Obama wants to energize our economy by scaring off other nations from doing business with the U.S. and giving hardworking Americans no incentive to do better for themselves. Canada's nervous, the EU is wary, and Joe the plumber, well, he's not happy.